Okay, so today we are going to start looking at Power BI. So what is Power BI? Power BI is a collection of software services and apps and connectors that we can use to analyze data. And it's a Microsoft product. So Power BI came into importance or came into use due to some of the deficiencies in Excel. So usually in Excel, there's a limit to the number of rows you can have in Excel. So there's a size limit for the data. So when your data exceeds a certain amount, you will need a system that can accommodate such data. Besides, Power BI is smart and intelligent, and it can do additional services and tasks that Excel cannot do, thereby making it easier for data analysts to use to analyze data sets. So there are about 4 versions of Power BI. So what we have open before us now is Power BI Desktop. This is where we build all our reports, build all our dashboards, and do our preliminary analysis. Then after Power BI Desktop, we have what is called Power BI Service. Power BI Service is an online software as a service. It is cloud-based, and it's a way of sharing the reports that you've built on your desktop. So if you have users that are going to consume your report, they will consume it via Power BI Service online. So the users that consume your reports, the reports that you built, can be located anywhere in the world. As long as they are connected to the cloud, they can, visualize and see your data set, your reports. Another version of Power BI is a Power BI Report Server. This can be on premises, and it is also used to show your reports to other users, but it is limited by being on premises. So if you want something that is global and scalable, it's better you go with Power BI Service. And lastly, we have Power BI Mobile. So if you look at the bottom left of your screen here, this is where you can design your mobile layout. So if you have users that you know are going to consume your report on their mobile devices, this is where you do your formatting and layout planning. So like I said, there are 4 versions of Power BI. You have the desktop version, the Power BI Service, Power BI Report Server, and the Power BI Mobile. So the next thing we would have done is to download Power BI. But luckily, we've been able to do that before the class started. So now we will, I hope we all have our Power BI open. So we will start by looking at the interface of Power BI. So it's good we understand where we want to be working so that whenever we make reference to something, you can understand it. So this is the main page where we'll be working on in Power BI. So I have some visuals here that can assist us in understanding what we have on the screen. So let's go to this this Word document and see what I'm referring to. So if you look at the screen, you will see that we have number 1 to 5. So number 1 is where we have the content is like our ribbon pane. Can we all remember we had something like this in Excel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So number 1 is our ribbon. And for every tab you have above the ribbon. So if we have file, every tab, file, home, view, modeling, and help are the tabs. So every tab has a ribbon. And in the ribbons, we have groupings. So if you look at this, you'll see the first one here is external data. You have insert, you have custom visuals, you have themes, you have relation. So one way to become a guru quickly when you deal with software is to ensure you understand and know what is the functionality of each of these buttons. So the more you work on Power BI, the more you'd start to know, but take it as a point of duty to look behind every one of these buttons to know what they do. So as explained, the first number one here is ribbon. So let's go to Power BI itself and look at that. So in the file, as you can see here, oh, it's opening another one. So in file, you can see what we have here. Two seconds. Looks like my Power BI is malfunctioning. Okay, please let me restart my Power BI. My buttons are not working. Anyway, let me just continue here then. So if you look at number 2 here, number 2 is what we call the canvas. So the canvas is the open space where we'll do most of our designing and our analysis. Okay, so we are on the home tab. Let's continue on this page now. So we're on the home tab now. So this area where you have this add data to your report, this large expanse of open real estate is our canvas. This is where we'll be doing our designing and be doing our visualization. Yes. So going back to the tabs, like I explained earlier, try and understand what each of the ribbons, the functionalities behind each of the ribbons. So this is where you have your data. This has to do with anything data is on this section of the ribbon. Queries is on this section. If you want to insert something onto the canvas is here. And if you want to do calculations, this is where you come to sensitivity. And if you want to share, likewise, if you want to insert onto the canvas, these are the things you can do here. Then for modeling, this is when you have more than one table in your data set. This is where you come to. Some of them are grayed out now because we've not started doing any form of visualization yet. And for view, if you want to design how your canvas looks and do some other things, this is where you come. If you want to optimize, this is where you come. So we'll be treating them one by one as we start building. Are you following?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, like I said, this is the canvas. This is the second area we are looking at. Now, to the right, what we have 3 panes here. So I think we need to start paying very, close attention now. So we have 3 panes here, as you can see. Look at it on your system as well. We have the data pane, the visualizations pane, and the filters pane. these are some of the things we have, dealt with in Excel. So let me open the data pane. When we import data into Power BI, this is where you will see your data. This is where you see your tables in the data pane. Closing that. Now, for visualization, if you want to build visuals on your canvas, this is where you pick your visuals from. So with time, you get to understand what each of these symbol represents. So if you put your cursor on the topmost row in the leftmost side, you can see that that is a stacked bar chart. So can someone put their cursor on the third line and on the rightmost item and let us know what item that is? The third row and the rightmost.
Trimmer.
Very good. How about on the 1, 2, 3, 4, on the fourth line and the second to the last on the right? What visual is that?
Python visual.
No, I said 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth row. Fourth row, second.
Multi-row cards.
Sorry? No, second to the last.
Yeah. Multi-row card.
No, it's this. It's card. Second to the last.
Card.
Card, yeah. So how about on the second row, the first one? First one from the left.
Line chart.
Fantastic. So when you click on any of them, it will put that item on your canvas. So can we click on line chart and see what happens? So what happened when you clicked line chart?
It's on the canvas. There's a line chart on the canvas.
So that means we are ready to build a visual on the line chart. So let's close the visualization pane. So remember, we have 3 panes on your right. You have your data, you have the visualization, and the third one is the filters. So if you open this pane as well, you will now see your filters. So this filter is divided into 3.
Really?
Can you see? So can anybody read the 3 filters we have in this section under filters? It's divided into 3. I want somebody to tell us the 3 types of filters we can have.
Filter on this visual.
Yes, that's number 1.
Filter on this page.
Number 2.
Filters on all pages.
Okay. Do we have an idea of what that means?
Yeah, I think I can try.
Okay, please go ahead.
Right. Filter on this visual means probably on the what's it called? The particular line or graph you're going to be doing. And maybe filter on this page means whatever you're doing is going to like affect the whole page. However, filter on all pages means if you have like more than one page, whatever filter you are doing is going to be applicable to every other pages.
Fantastic. You are very correct. That's absolutely right. So if you use filter on this visual, then chances are that you must have clicked on that visual, then you put your queries in this section. You add your fields here. So once you add your fields here, then what you are doing is you are filtering on just that visuals alone. But if you use filters on this page, then it means if you have more than one item on your canvas, that filter you put on this page will affect every other visuals on your canvas on that page. So now you might be wondering which one is page, which one is not page. So if you look at the bottom here, just like you have tabs in Excel, these are your pages. So we're on page 1 now. So let's say you want to build more visuals. You can click on this plus, which is going to bring up a new page. You click it, it gives you a new page. You can go to your visualization and say, okay, I want pie chart. You click on pie chart and the pie chart appears on the canvas. So now you have page 1 and you have page 2. So if you want to filter on both pages and you want the same filter to affect those 2 pages, you now use your field here. You put your data in this field here. Is that clear? So like, we've looked at the canvas, we've looked at the 3 panes on your right, which is data, visualization, and filters. We've looked at pages at the bottom here. Then now to your right, we have the views. These 3 items here are the views. These 3 items are also very important to any work you are going to do in Power BI desktop. So now the default view here is the report view. That is where we are now. So we are currently on the report view. So the report view is where you build your reports, where you build your dashboards, where you do all your major analysis in terms of visualization. That is the default view here, report view. Then the next view is the table view. So by the time we bring in data into our Power BI desktop, this is where we can view the data that we've brought in. So if you click here, the interface will change and it will show you your data. Can we see? Also, it has moved the data pane out from the right-hand side. So this middle one is the table view. And the last one, who knows what this last one is?
Model view.
Model view. Who has an idea of what a model view does, of what it does?
Is it showing the relationship or like an entity diagram?
Yes, fantastic. So model view shows the relationship between your tables. So, and that is one of the key selling points of Power BI. So Power BI is made up of connectors. So which is one of the major selling points of Power BI. So now imagine a system or an organization where you have some of your data sets in Excel, you have some of your data sets in SQL Server, you have some of your data sets in another application, maybe Salesforce, or maybe Sage, or maybe Oracle NetSuite. So Power BI can serve as a junction for you to bring in all these different data from different systems. The formatting and the way you deal with data in Excel is different from the way you deal with data in maybe Oracle NetSuite or SAP, for example. But when you bring all of them into Power BI, they all become one format and Power BI can handle all of them seamlessly. So that's one of the major advantages of Power BI. So now that we've gone through all these views, let us start looking at bringing in data to start getting our hands dirty. So I hope we all have the data set I put in the Zoom chat.
No, I don't. Could you resend it, please?
Okay, let me try resending it again. Okay, so do we all have that data now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So we are making progress. So now I believe we all understand the interface of Power BI. So I'll do a quick rundown. We have the tabs on top. We have the ribbons for each of the tabs. So for any tab you click, you have to understand what the ribbons, the functionalities of the ribbon. On your right, you have 3 panes, which are very important to our success in Power BI. You have the data pane. This is where you have your data. You have the visualization pane. This is where you pick the visuals that you are going to use on the canvas. So this area is the canvas. Then we have the filters. The filters is a way for you to do some manipulation on the visuals that you have on the canvas. So filters are divided into 3. You have the filters on this page, filter on all pages, and filter on all visuals for pages where you have more than 1 visuals. So that's that. At the bottom, you have the number of pages. You can move between, as many pages as you want, just like you have in Excel. And to the very left, you have the report view, which is the default. You have your table view, and you have your model view. So let's import data into our Power BI and start seeing what we can do with it. So to get data, you come to this place. So if you click on the drop down arrow here, and you can now look at the options that you have. Can we all click on the Get Data tab under the Home tab? Click on the Get Data button. Can you tell me the second to the last entry that we have there? Second to the last value that we have. Click on Get Data. Sorry?
Blank query.
Blank query. Okay. What's the first one that we have there? What's the first value that we have?
Excel workbook.
Excel workbook. Okay. Can we click on more just to have an idea of all the kind of connectors that we have?
You want to pick me up from the house, so yeah, that's all.
Can you scroll down? Scroll down and see, as you're scrolling down, be looking at them, and this will give you an idea of how versatile Power BI is. So Power BI can connect to data from all of these sources. So starting from files, databases, Oracle database, IBM DB2, Postgres, MySQL, Teradata, SAP HANA, Amazon Redshift, then also Microsoft Fabrics, Snowflakes inclusive. Then you have all the Azure. Power BI is a Microsoft product, so it is very well integrated with Azure. So you have several databases. There's hardly anything you cannot connect Power BI to. Azure, HD Insights, Spark, Microsoft Dynamics 365. So Salesforce, this is Salesforce here. You have Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics. So even LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So Power BI is very versatile, and you can always use it to connect to anything. So recently I wanted to extract some data from Wikipedia, and I didn't just want to do copy and paste from Wikipedia. So what I did was I just connected the URL to Power BI, and it pulled in the data set very neatly. So this is how you get data into Power BI. So can we all click the Excel workbook? Click on the Excel workbook. You can double click it. Then navigate to where you saved the file that I just sent now. So have we done that? Click on Excel, get data, Excel, double click on Excel, then navigate to where you have the table, the Excel file I just sent. Let me know if we've done that.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay. Who else?
Yeah, done.
Done. Okay. Lizzie, any problems?
I'm checking. Yeah, I found it's done now.
Done. Okay. So have you gotten to the page showing on my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you do now is it is showing you the contents of what it has seen. So in some cases, when you click on a file and you get to this point, remember in Excel, we can have several tabs. And even sometimes on one tab, which is a sheet in Excel, you can have more than one table in a sheet. You know, sheets make up a workbook. So in an Excel sheet, you can have more than one tables. So peradventure, if you have more than one table in a sheet or you have several tabs in your Excel workbook, all those tables will be logically separated here. So, but for our Excel file now, we have just one table, we have just one tab in it. So what you do is you click the checkbox. Then it will give you a preview of what you have in that table. Can you all see the preview? Click the checkbox beside others. Have we done that?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you've done that, at the bottom, how many buttons do we have at the bottom there?
3.
3. Okay. What and what do we have there?
Load, transform, and cancel.
Okay. Who has an idea of what transform data does?
To clean it up.
Sorry?
To clean up the data.
Yes, very good. So if for any reason you have data, you know, when you bring in your data here and maybe your row header is not on the topmost row, maybe it's on line 2, for example, then it means you have to remove this and make your header the very top. So we will still go back to data transformation later on when we have better understanding of Power BI. But for now, let us just load. So you click on load. Click on load and let's load this data set into Power BI. So I've clicked on load. So it will now load. It will create connection in model and do some initial setup.
Hi, Michael.
Yes, please.
My buttons, the 3 buttons down
Yes.
the table is not, they are white, like they are,
Okay. So
yeah.
on the navigator page, you have to click the checkbox beside that orders table.
Right, thank you.
Okay. So click on load after you've checked that box. So you should now have your data loaded into your Power BI on the right under the data pane. Do we all have that on our data pane now?
Yes.
Okay. So if you toggle this arrow, if you click on it, it will now show you all the columns that you have inside this table.
Michael,
Yes, please.
Sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
So maybe there's something I've done with my, because they're saying there are pending changes in your query that has not been applied.
Okay, is it still running? Is there still a box in the middle that is
Yeah.
running? So
Yeah.
let it run. Yeah, it seems
Okay.
like your system is slow. So it will run and it will load that table. So just give it a few
So
more
should I
seconds.
do apply, because it's giving me two options, apply changes or discard changes?
Apply, but I'm sure if you don't click on the apply, it should do it by itself. But just click
Okay.
on apply.
Oh.
So can we all see the columns in our table now on the data pane?
Yeah.
Okay. Leroy G. Yuri, has it gone through?
No, I think my system is a little bit slow. I need to close some applications.
Yes. I try to force myself to restart my system at least once in every 48 hours. So I restarted it before class today. Okay, so now that we have the columns in our orders table on our data pane, let's investigate it. Let's have a look at it. Do we have any observations? At least if you look at my screen, do you have any observations of some of the symbols or anything about the columns? I'm listening. Do we have any observation? What can we observe?
There is formation sign behind some of the boxes.
Okay. What else? What else can we observe? I think there's another sign there. What's the other sign?
There is calendar sign too.
Okay. Yeah. So
So
there are
I'm
two
sorry to take you back. Sorry to take you back.
Yes.
How do I? So when I maybe I should share my screen. The option to load the data is not active. What do I need
Okay.
to do?
Okay. Well, I'll pardon you because of our situation.
Yeah, God
Because
bless
this,
you.
the same thing happened to Lizzie.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to your navigation page, you need to
Yeah.
click the checkbox. There's a checkbox beside orders, the table.
Okay.
Yes. If you
Okay.
click on that checkbox, so what you are telling Power BI is, I want this table. So there are situations where you load an Excel file, and the Excel file has 5 tables, 10 tables, but what you need is just 1 or 2. So you need to check
Okay.
the tables that you need. So
Okay.
check that table and you click on load.
All right. Says there are pending changes in your queries that haven't been applied. Do I
Yeah, so
apply changes?
just give it like 2 seconds. It
Okay.
should load, but if it doesn't, click on apply changes.
Okay.
Yeah, naturally it should just, roll for a while, then load everything.
Okay. Definitely amazing. Are you saying definitely amazing?
Has it gone through?
Yes, yes, it has. Thank you.
Okay, so click on the arrow beside the orders table in your data pane. Look at my screen if you can.
Yeah, I see the drop down
Yes. Can you see all the columns?
columns. Yes.
Yes. So any observation about any symbol on that data pane?
Some of them are submissions, I think.
Yeah. So do you have any idea why it has summation sign? Does anyone have any idea why we have summation signs there?
I think the ones with submission have to do with like money or price or something like that.
Okay. So in Power BI, any column that is made up of numbers, Power BI will think that, okay, the only way I can really work on this thing is to add it or to do some arithmetical analysis on it. So that is why it's putting that summation sign. So that just tells you that this is a numeric column. Do you understand that? So any column in which you see sum in front, so it means you can do some arithmetic calculations on those columns. And likewise, if you look at order date has a symbol in front of it, which is a calendar. So that shows you that this is a date column. So if you scroll down as well, you will see ship date, which is also a date column. So it has that calendar sign in front of it. So now, which view are we in now? Which view is our canvas in now? One chocolate for the person that gets it.
Data.
Report.
Another person.
Report view.
Report view.
Okay, so if you want to know where you are, just look to your left. You can click on it. If it changes, you know that you are in the wrong place. So I'm clicking on report view. So what does that tell us? We are in the report view.
Okay.
If you click on the middle one, table view. Oh, I shouldn't even have gone to table view yet, but this is our table view. Then if you now go to, so in the table view, if you scroll to the right, you can now see all your data. This is all our data sets for that file that we imported into Power BI. And here is our model view. So from what you have here, how many tables do we have in this our model?
One.
Yes,
Yeah,
very good. We have only one table in this our model for now. So if we
sorry.
go back, yes.
Excuse me. You have glossed over the chocolate issue.
Sorry?
I don't understand.
Oh, okay. I owe you one chocolate. Don't worry. One chocolate. Okay, so let's go back to the report view and we start doing some magic. So now, one of the major functions of Power BI is to try and visualize your data. You know, if you have a table, looking at this data now, if someone asks you a question and says, which country? Okay, let's look at this to know how many countries we have. So you can filter your table here just like you can do in Excel. So we have just one country in this data, in this table, okay? Let's look at city. How many cities do we have? Oh, see that we have a lot of cities here now. We can't count this. So this is a lot of cities, okay? Okay, let's look at segments. How many segments do we have? How many segments do we have?
Three.
That's a question.
3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what we are doing now is what can be called exploratory data analysis. So that means you are trying to explore your data. So it's good you know that terminology. If you use that terminology during any interview, they will think you are from space. is a very strong terminology you should put in your vocabulary as a data analyst. So exploratory data analysis or exploratory data analysis, yeah. So also you can look at the region. How many regions do you have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 regions. So now if someone asks you a question, which region has the highest sales? Who can give me an answer to that? Don't do anything, just tell me now. Which region has the highest sales? Anybody? Well, it's almost impossible for you to say from this data now. Without even doing any filtering, without doing anything, you cannot answer that question. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you cannot answer that question. So let us try and build our first visuals. So if we want to build our visuals, where do we go to? Which view do we go? We go to the report view. So you click on the report view and go back to the report view. So to start your visualization, you need to open your visualizations pane. So here you can see all the visuals that you have. So let us visualize volume of sales in relation to the regions. We know we have 4 regions. So now we want to see which region has the highest sales, or we want to see the sales by region. So which visuals can we use to try and illustrate that? Who has an idea of a good visual we can use to easily visualize the region that has the highest sales or the lowest sales? I need an answer. Which visuals can we use? All right. I am thinking.
Can we use a line chart?
Yes, we can use a line chart, but line chart might not be the best. So let us try a column chart, which is what we used to call a bar chart.
Column chart.
Yes. So let us use a column chart. So we have this stacked column chart. We have this clustered bar chart. We have this clustered column chart. So one of the assignments I'm going to give you is to go and research on these visuals. Which one is best for what kind of analysis or what kind of visualization? It's if you are going to write the Microsoft Power BI Certified Data Analyst exam, it's one of the major questions. They want to make you understand which visual is good for what kind of report. So let us just use a stacked column chart. So if you click on the clustered column chart, it will appear on your canvas. So as you can see, even from the shadow, that is your column chart. So now we start plotting the axis. I'm sure by now you realize that this is easier than doing visualization in Excel. Am I right? So now you look at your axis. You have 2 axes. You have the y-axis and you have the y-axis, yes, and the x-axis. So now we want our region to be on the x-axis. With time you understand this, and you can always do trial and error. So if on your x-axis you want to have your regions here, north, east, west, south, you look for your region in your data pane. So this is region. So you bring region to your x-axis. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you all see where am I putting the region now? Which axis am I putting the region?
X.
X. So you drop it there.
Michael, could you do that again?
Okay. It's very easy. Just click on it in your data pane. I would recommend you do it, watch the video. As I'm saying it, watch it, then quickly do it. Ideally, you should have 2 screens when you are attending trainings like this. So you should have just 1 screen for watching the Zoom. Then your main system should be where you are practicing. So just click on the region and drag it to the axis. So can you see? If you look at your visuals, you see region is already here. So now on the y-axis, we want to look at sales. So we go to sales and we drag sales onto the y-axis. So instantly, can you see what has happened? So Power BI is like the end of our analysis. When you start from your Excel, you clean, you manipulate, you do everything, you move it to SQL, you do whatever you want to do. So when you now have done all your data treatment, blah, 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 and you just want to visualize it and show the stakeholders, the management, the head of departments, you want to show people the results of what you've done, that is when you now come to Power BI. So who can answer the question now that which region has the highest sales?
West.
So is it simple or not to do your analysis or to derive insights from your data now after you visualize it? Is it simple or not?
Yes, it is.
So that's it. So if you want to visualize this now, that is what you've done. So you've created your first visualization in Power BI. So it's as simple as this. So now this same visuals, if we wanted to do it in another visualization, if we want to use something else, can somebody do this with a tree map? Let me see what you get. So click on tree map and populate the axis in the visualization pane. I want to see what we are able to do. So look for tree map. It's on the 3rd row. That's one hint I'll give you. It's on the 3rd row. And try and visualize this with a tree map.
Done. Done.
Okay. So which one is the biggest area?
West.
Sorry?
West.
It's still west, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now another trick is if you have a visualization already and you want to change it to something else, you can just click on that new visual and it will change it automatically. So if I click on tree map now, it will change this column chart into tree map. So if you just, by guessing, but now this also brings this, let me bring out these points now. West and east, the sizes are close. Is that not so?
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult to get or guess which region is the largest or larger out of the two, right? So that goes to tell you that the choice of visualization that you use will go a long way in explaining what you want to explain to the stakeholders. So out of this column chart now, out of this column chart and the tree map, so I want to duplicate it. So I'm copying it and I'll paste it. So I've duplicated it. So I'll now change this one to tree map. So out of these two, which one would easily tell you the highest sale and the lowest sale? Which of the two visuals will easily give you that answer?
The clustered column.
Sorry?
The clustered column.
Speak up.
The clustered column.
Yes, the clustered column. Yeah, the clustered column will easily give you the answer to the question. So when you are visualizing, you always have this at the back of your mind that you want to use the best visual that will explain what you want to that will explain your point the best. So if you have the option now, you should just delete this tree map. Can you see? So this is the best for this kind of visualization. You know, somebody mentioned line charts the other time. Let's just copy this, paste, and change it to a line chart and see if it can give us. So this is a line chart from sales. Does this make any, does it give us easy insights into the data? No. So when you are using line chart is best for analysis that involve time. So if you have something that is changing by date, by time, by month, by year, then line chart is the best. Or if you have something that you are just looking at the volume, the quantity, the amount, the summation, then clustered column chart is better suited. So we can also do pie charts. So let's try doing pie charts for this. So copy the first visual that you have, your clustered column, do Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. That's copy it and you paste it. Then you drag out one of it. Then change it to pie charts and let's see. Do we all have the pie charts?
Yes.
Okay. So looking at this too, this looks easier to identify the sizes, maybe better than a tree map. So that's a good introduction to visualization. So now, one of the other major things that we'll be doing when we work on Power BI is, fine-tuning your visuals. You want to, make it look better, put in some styles, make it look more responsive. So we'll be looking at those ones in subsequent classes. Another point I need to make at this junction is a major advantage of Power BI is the interactivity. So can you click on okay, just click on West, for example. Click on West on your table, on your canvas, and let me know what happens.
The others faded out.
Okay. How about on the pie chart? What happened to the pie chart?
Yes, the West is well highlighted and the others are grayed out.
Okay, so what do you think is happening there?
Well, if you are trying to present something that is more inclined to West, it gives you the visualization in terms of the information you need. So
A summary of what you just said is you are filtering by West. Do you understand?
yeah.
Yeah. So you are filtering by West. So let's say we have another visuals. Okay. Let's click on another column chart. Click on column chart again. So now for this column chart, let us put in which one has the corporate, the customer type? The segment, I think is a segment, but okay, now we are not sure. So you go back to your data view. So what I wanted was the column that speaks about corporate. Yeah, so it's segments. So we have 3 segments: consumer, corporate, and home office. So let's go back to our report view. So now let's put the segment in the x-axis, and we put the sales again in the y-axis. So now, which segment has the highest sales over this period? Can you do that on your
Consumer.
Power BI desktop as well?
Consumer.
Consumer. All right. So now let us look at the like the volume of consumer, corporate, home office that is in the West. So click on West and tell me what happens.
Interact with the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is an automatic feature unless you disable it. You can disable it for each visual and say, I don't want you to interact with anybody. Just tell me what I put in you. So if you click on West, it tells you that, okay, this is the percentage of the consumers that are in the West. Can you see? So if you click on East, it will change again. If you click on Central, it will change. If you click on South, so if, for example, as a business analyst, you are told to do some work and you want to deliver your report, this is something you can use. So by the time you've built all your visuals and you are explaining, they call it, storytelling with data. You can just illustrate it that, okay, if we do this, this will happen. It will just be interactive and it will be looking like magic to them. And if you double click it again, it comes back to your default. So the next thing we'll start looking at is how do we make our visualization look better? But basically, this is the major work we'll be doing with Power BI. You'll be visualizing your data, and these are the stuff you'll be doing. So the other things will include how can you use formulas to show your results or to show your visualization? How can you format all these things to make it look better? How can you put in labels? How can you put in labels to show the value? So here now, you will start trying to guess how much is it? It's between 0.6 million and 0.8 million. You start guessing. So let us look at how to add labels to our column chart. Is there any question? Is there any question, please?
None from me.
None from me, Mike.
Okay, so let us look at how we can edit and format this. So if you look at your visualization pane, there's this format visual button in the middle. So the first one is adding your visual, which is where you have all the visuals, which is like standard for any visualization that you pick. But when you click on format visual, it is relative to the selected visuals. So the format visuals for pie chart is going to be different from the format visuals for column chart. So if you are on column chart and you click on format visuals, then it will show you several things that you can format in terms of making your visualization and your report better. So one thing I normally do when I have a column chart like this is to put data labels. So if you scroll down, this is data labels. But if you are lazy or you just want to be dynamic like me, you can just come here and type label. Then it will show you every option that has label in it. Then you can now scroll down till you find what you are looking for. So what I want us to edit is the data labels. So go to the formatting for your visuals in the visualization pane, the middle button, click on it, search for label, then in the data labels section, click it to turn it on. It's off right now, so click to turn it on. So can we notice any difference on our visualization? So go to your visualization pane. In the middle, click Format Visual. You see something that looks like a brush and like column charts.
Yeah, there's a difference to the visualization.
Okay, what can you see? What's the difference?
It's labeling each bar with the number.
Okay, so it's giving each column is giving it a value. So the value is the summation of that field. So now you have West. So everything that is in West, the summation is 0.73. For East, everything that is there is 0.68. So apart from, visually representing this, as one can see that one is higher, is taller than the others, which means it is more. So you can also have the option of putting the exact value there. So for example, if you are giving a presentation, you can now say, okay, so we've noticed that sales in the southern region is just 0.39 million, and that in central region is 0.50 million, while in the east and the west, the values are 0.68 million and 0.73 million respectively. So it gives you, a good flow to your storytelling based on your data. So also, apart from this, you can choose to put this data label either on top or inside. So there are lots of settings that you can do. There are lots of settings. So you click on options. It shows the position. So this is on auto. Do you want it outside end, inside center, inside base? So there are different options. So the more you work on this, on each of the visuals, the better you will understand it. So what I'll recommend is eventually, after we've done the major introduction, you go back and study each of the visuals. So you try and watch videos on column charts in Power BI, pie charts, cards, tables, matrix, tree map. So each of them have things you need to understand about them to be able to manipulate them better. So I think we will stop here for today, or would you like us to continue?
We can stop.
I think we've done enough today. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay. So well, I believe we've had a good introduction to Power BI.
This is
So
really
at your spare
Yes, we
time,
have.
yeah, at your spare
Michael.
time.
Sorry. Next class.
Yeah.
I know this is Easter's in, but is there any way we can have a very crazy data that we need to clean?
Okay, we tried working on one on Monday. Can you remember Lizzie and Alero?
Yeah.
It's like that data, the dates column, there's something wrong with the dates column because the formulas are not working on it. But if you put the dates in a different column or maybe a different Excel sheet and you use the same formula, it will work. So Yori, we will still come to that. We will come to all those cleansing.
All right. Thank you.
So there's there's Power Query here too that we can use to manipulate our data sets. So we'll still do all of that too. So I've noted your point.
Hi, Michael. My question for this class now is, how do you delete a visualization you don't want to use again?
Just click on it and press delete. It's gone. Can you try it on your system? Or okay, just look at my system now. It's very easy. Click on it, press delete. It's gone. And if you feel you've made a mistake, at the top on the left side, you can see undo. So once you click it, it will bring it back. Is that
Top
okay?
left side.
Sorry?
You said top left side. Is it
Yes.
that arrow that looks like, yeah?
Yes,
found-
that's undo.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
noticed that for most of these what you call Microsoft, what's it called, apps or programs, most of
Yes.
the shortcuts, I mean, works the same, whether Control V, Control,
Very
you know,
true.
Control
Very
Z.
true. Very true. So because it's Microsoft and is Windows based, most of the shortcuts are the same. Control Z, Control copy, Control paste, they all work equally here in Power BI. Most of the commands that you use in other Microsoft products. So thank you very much. I think we had a rather interactive class today. And on Monday, we'll also move very fast. And Power BI will just lay the foundation. Some things you'll have to learn as you mature in it. We can't push you too hard initially. So it takes a while for you to pick it up. But the good thing is once you are able to get your data into Power BI and you understand the concept of visualization, you understand the concept of categories. Categories, if you look at your data pane on the right, categories are the kind of values that are like text that you can use to analyze your data. For example, you can analyze by category, you can analyze by city, you can analyze your data by country, by customer ID, by customer name. And the ones that you can calculate or sum are the ones that have numbers. So those are the ones that you have values that you can use to make reports. So anytime you have a data set given to you and you are told, analyze this data, immediately look at the ones that have summations. Those are the ones that you will try to aggregate and do some reporting on. Is that clear?
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah. All right, then. So we'll call it a day. I'll send some assignments and the video.
And my chocolates.
And your chocolate, yes.
Thank you.
All right, then.
Thank you,
See you guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Next
Good night,
time.
everyone.
Bye.